What's with the pink on the top? We don't know how many flowers it has, right? And we don't know what its leaves look like at all. It says it smells nice. Rough leaves can be an irritant. Srab says, Tika, I have my plants sorted alphabetically, and this sneaky wandering bew keeps moving out of order. Freaking migratory mushrooms. The 2 stamen on the left one bothers me, but I don't see the early description of how much weight we should put into the images. Yeah. Hey, Dark Twinge, what's up? First rule of the book set is the images are sus? Yeah, you're right. Our Rising Dread went back down. Epsilon Rose says, I think you're focusing too much on the leaves being irritants and not on why they're irritants. Yeah. I mean, like, to be clear, coarse to the touch, right, will make them irritate you, and it matches the image, but I guess ache and irritant, those descriptions don't really line up, right? In terms of just my grasp of English. Ache, I would not describe an ache as irritant. Irritant is scratchy. Irritant is fiberglass insulation, right? Irritant is not aching. I think we need to trust the image here a little bit. I think we need to trust the image. Like, hands ache, I can't give this to someone. This is poison. This is like, this is a toxic plant. Whereas if I give this to them and it's wrong, they don't die. Okay. Yes! We took the high road. Such a nasty trick on they play on us hobbitses. Dragoslov. Thanks so much for the tier 1 38 months of support. Says, it's been a while. Glad to see this game. Was considering picking it up. Welcome. Happy New Year. Thanks for the support. All right. Confirmed as Gandhi root. We were right. Go us for not feeding them probably a horrible toxin and instead curing their digestive problems. Yeah, Foxy all over says, I feel that ache matches the gilded dendra next to it more. I think that is the gilded dendra. I think that is the gilded dendra. That was a tough one though. I mean, it was like, it was not clear, right? It's not clear. It's not clear. Rising Dread went back to 0, probably because we didn't murder the man. We got a new book page for Meek Dew. The beautiful flowers made up of many smaller florets make this a sought-after decorative plant. Although it is difficult to care for. It may be a pleasant-looking plant, but touching the leaves against bare skin will result in painful sores. Beautiful flowers made up of many smaller florets. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I think this is our clavilium. We'll look for florets later. What we want to do right now is acknowledge that this is in fact Gandhi root. Safe. Safe. Blue flowers, light airy scent. Nah, the shape, right? The shape is wrong. Well, we did a good batch of identification last night, so no need to do that right now. Let's keep churning through these customers, yo. Mailman. Lake Undermere is looking fine in the sunshine today. Here's your mail. Lake Undermere. Are you suggesting that I go there? I'll do it. I'll do it. Don't make me. This one has a seal on it. There's an old slate mine at Hard Knot that has some interesting looking fungi growing in it. I've never seen anything like them before. They seem to have found a niche in the damp, dark tunnels left by the tramways. I thought you might be interested. Warmest regards, Amos Duncan. I want to go to this mine, but I also want to go to Lake Undermere. Looking fine in the sunshine? If I click here, what happens? Nothing there. All right, I get it. Nothing there. We'll water our plants, and we'll go get the fungi in the shade. I wonder if there's a plant that we can water that loses us will to explore. That would be disappointing. This plant seems to like water. It was growing in a river, in a corpse. Wait a minute. Is it possible that the animal was dead because of this plant instead of this plant growing in the animal? I hadn't thought about it from that angle. Okay. Hard knot. Old slate mine. Hard knot. It's a hard knot mine. Hard knot. Down. Bow. We're looking for a hard knot. I don't really know what it means. Do you think that hard knot... Aha! Location, location, location. An iron gate, rusted by years of abandonment, sits across the entrance to the tram tunnel. Rusted it may be, but it won't budge. Locked. But for how long do you plan to be locked? Baby puppy? Boop. Okay, we were right. Our identification of Clavilium was correct. That's the plant that opens locks. I'm a real-life horticulturalist, okay? I'm role-playing the game. And so I remember what I read yesterday when I was preparing. It came to fruition. Fungi fruition, I suspect. The gate swings open slowly, complaining loudly on its rusty hinges. Complaining. A gate complaining, I like that. After a short exploration of the tunnel, I am rewarded. We identified one plant, which gave us another page for the encyclopedia for Aguria, Cephus spectaculum. When burned, incense made from the woody stem can enhance psychic abilities, strengthening the clarity of visions and prophecies. Light blue flowers, like rounded tufts of gentle lamb's wool, characterize this plant. Neat. And we get 3 new plants from taking a journey into the hard knot life. Would you look at the fungi? One of them sure does seem to be collecting light, doesn't it? Freaking cool. Let's identify these bad boys. It seems to give off a small amount of light, okay? A viscous white liquid can be seen oozing from its underside. We know what that is. It smells rotten. Okay. Put the map back. Archive the tramway letter. Pull out the old bookie wookie. Mushroom found in dark, damp places. Feeding on any light that gets close to it. It can seem to draw light in, enveloping its surroundings in darkness. Draw light in. So it's not this one. It might even be feeding off of the light from this one. It's this one. Gills on the underside of this mushroom seep a milky fluid that can be consumed as a treatment for stomach pains. You know, feeding this to someone is horribly frightening, but I think that that's our bishop's parasol. For real, for real. I think this is safe. That being said, I'm not sure we have identifications for the other 2. I'm not sure we have any more mushroom. Wandering View we've already identified. Yeah, we're gonna need some more help. It's good, right? Yeah. Evening, Spirit Sparrow, thank you. I'm becoming better by the moment. Soofside Hair, thank you so much for the raid, boss. Hope you're well. Welcome. If it's supposed to shroud its surroundings in darkness, will it make the migratory mushrooms move? That is an interesting question. I'm headed to Grisdale Forest, investigating a possible murder there. Can't say I'm looking forward to it. The Sisterhood are a secretive lot, and they're not keen to talk to me. Their leader, the Arda, or whatever they call her, she's dead. My instinct is they're hiding something. I was hoping you might have some fox button that would help me win them over. Yeah, I think we do. I'm pretty sure we identified that last night. Or at least, we think we identified it. I did, Methas. I did. Yeah, no sweat. Soofside, how was your stream? Were you playing Storybook? Did it go well? I think you misidentified this one. I would believe it. Shiny leaves grow in opposing pairs along the stems. Shiny. I said this one? Just because it looks shinier than this one? And it says they need to be thick. So that's my best guess. There was one other with opposing leaves. But they're small leaves, so that's not it. That's definitively not thick. Honestly, I'm pretty sure this is our plant. I don't see what else it would be. We could not have it, yeah. Got you, Soofside. Well, welcome again. Thank you. Yeah, we could not have it. It's definitely possible. And we could go to Grisdale Forest and see if there's any fox button there, or we can look somewhere else for fox button. Let's learn about Reuben and our other man. Reuben works with the police on murder cases. He's a kind, good-humored man, but beneath the mask, he's deeply sad. His only child, a daughter, had seemed troubled for some time before running away from home several years ago. The victims whose stories he tries to uncover are all somebody's son, somebody's daughter. The search for answers drives him forward, piecing together the logic of life and death. And here's our upset stomach man, Isidore Burbage. Burbage is a rich man who inherited a fortune but never experienced the love of his parents. He expects people to do his bidding and is quick to anger. There are many in Undermere who would be glad to see the back of him, but with wealth comes power, and few would challenge him to his face. Yeah, we could not have it. I'm not sure where we would go. We've only got one plant that I've seen that appears to have opposing, thick, shiny leaves. I'm gonna trust it. I'm gonna trust my horticultural gut here. Is this it? Wicked. I mean, visually, right? There is a bit of a shine here. That was the thing that kind of encouraged me to believe this path. And we were right. Brimlock is the new identity that we've uncovered. Those suffering from hypothermia can be rescued by a draft made using the leaves from the Brimlock plant. It has a warming effect that protects against extreme cold. When conditions are just right in the cold of winter, Brimlock produces small yellow flowers. The leaves are waxy and tough. So it's not always going to have yellow flowers. It can produce them, but it always has waxy, tough leaves. Okay. Let's first of all confirm this as fox button. And let's see if we can find these brimlock. Smooth, waxy leaves. No flowers, but we don't know that the conditions are right. What did it say? Dead of winter? Small yellow flowers. Small. We don't have anything with small yellow flowers. But it could be this. There's a chance that this is our guy. Waxy. No flowers. I'm gonna give that a purple. You know, this is higher than nothing, right? This is like, maybe we can make it cold by putting something next to it. We're not gonna get cold of winter here in our internal greenhouse, right? It's just not gonna happen. Hey, let's explore somewhere random. Spiral out. We went to Ambleside. Let's go to Kindle. I sidestep the busy town of Kindle and head to Serpentine Woods to root around. The shrubs are overgrown and the foliage is thick and vibrant. It feels like the perfect place to find a hidden gem. But I look high and low and nothing stands out. All that promise and nothing to show for it. Okay, so no dice in Kindle, not yet anyway. Victoria Gray. Didn't we see her before? Ah, yeah. We helped her yesterday. I was able to make out the whispered voices last night with the help of the St. John's Poppy. There's a medium using the room, illegally I might add, holding midnight seances for gullible grievers. I know what we need. Is there a plant you know of that I could use to give them a scare and drive them away? I need my sleep. Harlequin blue. The screaming plant. We think we found it. Bushy blue flower heads. Downy pappus hidden inside of this kind of bulb, underflower bulb. Dried and hardened stems can be burned as incense, and as they burn, they let out high-pitched shrieks. This? Blue flowers, light airy scent, but particularly bushy blue flower head. Nothing else we own is bushy and blue other than what we've already determined is a lemon dandy. That's not bushy, that's just composite, right? Okay. I think us last night was pretty smart. Let's trust us from last night. We're 2 for 2 so far. We had the Gandy root right, and we had the Flim Flam. Ding dong. Fox button. We had the Gandy root and the fox button right. Let's go 3 for 3. Last night, horticulture was pretty good. I mean, we were nailing it. Harlequin blue. Okay. Gave us another identity, Shimmerlung. The dried stem of the Shimmerlung burns very brightly and noisily, letting off a near blinding white-purple light. Flowers grow wrapped in large, ridged leaves. Oh, that's cool. Ridged leaf, hidden flower. It's like a kung fu, some type of martial art, right? Shimmerlung. Let's acknowledge the wandering or the Harlequin blue as, in fact, Harlequin blue. Don't stop while you're ahead. But maybe we explore one more time. Nothing was found in Kindle, but we've not yet been to Kentmere. I descend into a pleasant valley where the village of Kentmere is situated. On my way, I pass the Brockstone, or Badger Rock, which has always been popular with local children who challenge each other to scramble up its craggy sides. I make a beeline to the village church, St. Cuthbert's, which is sheltered by an ancient yew tree. I remember cutting yew in RuneScape. It's pretty high level, right? There are many plants to admire amongst the headstones and tombs, but sadly, nothing extraordinary for me to find today. Next customer. Bethany Coleman, in a hood. You may have heard the rumors that our Arda is dead. May Arduina bring her spirit peace. Ah, we've got a witch. The nature of her death is unusual. The Sisterhood does not often look to outside help, but this is beyond our knowledge. If you show my sisters this letter, they will allow you entry to the forest. To be assured of your discretion, we require that you use Mary's breath to bind yourself to secrecy. Is last night us gonna go 4 for 4? We identified something that we thought might be Mary's breath. Let's look again. The wide, waxy leaves allow this plant to collect the large amount of water it requires. It is said that a person can be bound to secrecy using Mary's breath. Used to be grown in the royal gardens so that the king could ensure the trust of his confidants. But the practice fell out of favor. It could be this. But I think it's this. And last night us has not been wrong yet. Small dopamine. Large joy percent. Plant identified. And we got a letter, which I will open in short order. Mary's breath. Confirmed. 4 for 4. Open sesame. We have failed in our duty as protectors of the forest. Our secrets have been stolen, and the Arda has been murdered. You will find us deep in Grisdale Forest, a mile from the lake shore across from Torver. Please help us. Yours in hope, the Sisterhood of Arduina. Deep in Grisdale Forest, a mile from the lake shore, across from Torver. Do we have a mile measure? Aha. Each square is a mile. Deep in Grisdale Forest, across from Torver, a mile from the lake shore, which is here or here. I'm gonna guess here, like, because technically it should be here. A sister tries to stop me from entering, but I show her the letter and she lets me through. I'm ushered into a walled courtyard and then through a large oak door, along a corridor and down a set of stone stairs into a cool basement. Lying on a table, draped in silk, is the Arda. There is not a mark on her, but her open eyes are black. Her mouth, her veins, her hair, all black as a raven's wing. Do you know what could do this? Asks my escort. We know exactly what does that. And we suspect we own the plant. Gilded dendra. Do not drink the sap of this plant. The lips and veins will turn black as the blood succumbs to dendra miasma. Sure and painful way to die. But what we want right now is wren, which is a plant for identification. Long leaves of the wren are known to turn black in the presence of certain poisons, and so can be used to detect them. Though it has no flower, it's said to smell unpleasant to those who have known death and sweet to those who have not. And we certainly know death now. We're looking it in the face. Here's our wren. 5 for 5? Late working. Strange horticulture. Plant identified. Wren. Offered an identity for gray sandfire. I'm going to come back to this. I think I know what this is. I think we already have this. And we get some new plants, too. I extract a sample of the Arda's blood and introduce it to the wren, and my suspicions are confirmed immediately. The leaves of the wren turn black, which can only mean one thing. Gilded dendra poisoning. Upon presenting my findings, I'm rushed away quickly. The sisters do not want me hanging around, it seems. They do, however, send me on my way with a couple of plants, which I'm grateful for. New plants acquired. Hey! Isn't it this is the one? Oh, and there's thorns. Hey, okay. Second thorny plant, and these ones are curvaceous, like we expect. And then this is probably the one that has the flowers hidden in the leaves or whatever. This guy right here. Shimmerlung. Flowers grow wrapped in large, ridged leaves. Large, ridged leaves. It has a pleasing scent. The leaves have stiff ribs. Shimmerlung, right? It's gotta be. What a successful day. That one seems pretty clear. What about this one? Turquoise flowers, sharp thorns. I think that's the mellow glow. Oops. Among other uses for this plant, the most remarkable is that it can allow a person to pass unnoticed. The mellow glow has sharp thorns that protect it from predators. Now, as the witches are ushering us to leave their coven, why would they offer us the plant that makes us stealthy? It does occur to me as somewhat strange that they would give me this, but I mean, you know, it's probably a better match than this. Yeah. This is gotta be our mellow glow. It makes sense that they would have it. That's a good point. It makes sense that they would have it. I guess I'm just surprised that they would then give it to me. That's the piece that I'm unsure of. And we were offered some other new identification. Ah, yeah. It was the... Where is the thing for it? Bishop, Brimlock, Butterdale, Clavilium, Farmer's Worry. Gray Sandfire. Sabulum canis. Sandfire has a tough outer bark which has many useful properties. Some chew it as a form of dental hygiene, taking care not to swallow it as it can cause unpleasant stomach distress. The flame-like tendrils give off a smoky scent, adding to the impression of a roaring fire. Smells faintly of wood smoke, feels like rough glass paper, which you wouldn't want to swallow. I'm not even gonna leave it to chance. That just is gray sandfire. I don't think that there's really any room to misinterpret those findings. Everything matches perfectly. Archive our letter from the witches. Dangerous plant grows sparsely in the hills to the northeast of Backbarrow. Keep it secret. Keep it secret. This is so dangerous that we're supposed to not let anyone know that it exists. What up with that? Where's our secret corner? Far away from the window, right? Here's the danger plant zone. Let's go somewhere else random. I've been enjoying that. That's been fun. Plant with a notable scent does not seem stealthy. Yeah, that's true. Oh, did we not yet, You're right, thank you. We had not yet confirmed the Wren for Wren, which we should do. Do you have like a back room? A good idea. Far away. I mean the that's Epsilon Rose says, Teak, I don't know how to break it to you, but this is a greenhouse. I don't think there is a far away from the window. I mean the customer window. The internally facing customer window, but yeah, you're right. This thing is so neat. Okay, so today we've been to Ambleside recently. We went to Kendal and Kentmere. The Daughter's Stone Circle. That's like the witches, right? Let's go to Sadgill. As I approach the small hamlet of Sadgill, the clouds thicken and the skies darken, echoing a sudden pensiveness that washes over me. A crow lands on the wall ahead, its beady black eyes fixed on me as if to warn me of an impending danger. I push on in search of strange plants, but I find nothing. Should have listened to the crow. It definitely feels like exploring randomly is not very fruitful in this game. It's interesting that they let you do it, and it's worth it, if for nothing else, to read the prose. But we've not once gone somewhere that we weren't hinted towards and found anything. Not yet. Granted, we've only done it 3 or 4 times, so the inn is still small. Isidore Burbage is back, presumably with some other affliction other than just their horrible personality. I'm this close to reporting you, half-wit. The last plant you gave me has made my skin itch furiously. I'll have your little shop shut down and turn to the ground if you don't make this right. I need to think carefully about which plant to use here. My actions could have consequences. We can offer Butterdale or Meekdew. Yes. We probably needed to prepare that for them rather than giving them the plant. Butterdale or Meekdew? Well, let's look at both. Butterdale. Often found growing in clumps on valley sides, Butterdale has been used for centuries as a cure for all manner of skin rashes. The dark green leaves can be stewed and mulched to form a poultice. The flowers smell buttery to some people. If we give them this, will they know how to prepare it this time? Alternatively, we can give them Meekdew. The beautiful flowers, made up of many smaller florets, make this a sought-after decorative plant, although it's difficult to care for. It may be a pleasant-looking plant, but touching the leaves against bare skin will result in painful sores. So, one of the options is punish this man? I love it. This sounds like a Gilded Dendra job. I'm starting to think that way. Be punished. Oh, did we never confirm the clavilium? No, you're right. Good call. All right. Now listen, angry man. I'm gonna do the right thing here today. It's too early for me to be burning bridges, making enemies, and you're too rich. I'm going to attempt to help you. I'm going to get you Butterdale. But if you mess this up, next time it's gonna be Gilded Dendra. So, don't mess it up. They're gonna come back tomorrow and they're gonna be like, I didn't know how to prepare the Butterdale, and now I have, my cat has left me. My succulents have all died. I didn't water my succulents enough. Storian, Enteritis dulcis. It's the new thing we got. The dark red fruits should not be ingested under any circumstances, as they are highly poisonous, resulting in insanity and then death. A cross-section of the stem shows the distinctive triple xylem and phloem of the Storian. We know this is dangerous because the note that suggested that we look for it said, keep it secret, it's very dangerous. It also appears to be covered in dark red fruits. Surely this is our Storian, right? We are continuing to make horticultural progress by the moment, and it is delightful.